On this episode of MythBusters, Adam and Jamie shed some light and heat on the Hindenburg disaster. Was the inferno caused by chemicals painted onto its skin?
That was totally amazing.
And from zeppelins to zigzags,
No, the crocodile!
is a crooked run the best way to confound a ravenous reptile? Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage
Is everybody ready for diving?
and Jamie Heineman.
Gets me all worked up just looking at it.
That was beautiful!
Between them, more than 30 years special effects experience.
That was heavy.
Joining them, Grant Imahara,
You feeling lucky, punk?
Tori Belleci,
Somebody order some exploding pants?
and Carrie Byron. They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test.
So what's the myth?
The myth today has to do with the cause of the Hindenburg disaster.
May 6th, 1937, one of the darkest days in aviation history. The giant German Zeppelin Hindenburg, with 97 people on board, hovers over New York City. That evening, as it comes into land at Lakehurst Naval Air Station, the airship suddenly bursts into flames.
All the humanity and all the plans that defeated around us.
36 people die in the inferno. History's largest airship is reduced to ashes in just 34 seconds. And an unforgettable image is burned into the memory.
Doesn't everybody know that that was caused by the hydrogen, which is the reason they don't fill blimps with hydrogen anymore?
Not according to our myth. Our myth states that the cause of the Hindenburg disaster was its skin, specifically the dope and paint on its skin.
This myth is not just wild internet speculation. The incendiary paint theory was actually put forward by a retired NASA scientist, Dr. Addison Bain. After studying fragments of the Hindenburg's hull, Bain cleared hydrogen as the cause of the blaze, blaming instead the airship's metal-based paint. It's a myth Adam and Jamie were born to bust. They're going to turn up the heat
Deuteronomy!
and put the paint theory to the ultimate test. In a world first, they'll build scale model Hindenburgs, cover them with a paint identical to that used on the giant blimp, and find an answer to aviation's burning question once and for all.
This is my favorite scale experiment we've ever done. Full stop.
Okay, well, where do we start?
Well, since the myth is about the skin, I think that's where we should start. We should find out exactly the type of fabric that was used and exactly what that fabric was coated with and replicate the skin in the shop and see how it burns.
Okay.
The Hindenburg skin was 100% cotton, treated with a kind of paint, or dope as it's known in the trade, which made the fabric taut and waterproof. The dope's ingredients included aluminum powder and iron oxide. Put them together, and they produce an extraordinarily explosive substance called thermite. Adam's keen to demonstrate. He's gonna whip up a batch of thermite. For this cooking lesson, Adam will need the fire suit and its safety masks all round. So, just like gumbo night at Adam's then. Take a cast iron skillet, add the aluminum powder and iron oxide, combine well. Thing is, they won't ignite by themselves. To get a thermite reaction, you need to add 1 or 2 secret ingredients.
This ingredient is made of blur. Ha! And this has some blur in it too. Blur is very dangerous. You don't want to mix blur with blur.
Add the mysterious mixture to the pan and retire immediately. It takes a few seconds for the ingredients to react, then suddenly you're cooking on a very high heat. 4,500 degrees, in fact.
Wow!
So we've seen thermite in action, and we know that the Hindenburg skin was coated with the compounds that create thermite. So that's a check mark for the myth.
The question now is, will they do that in a dope solution? So I think it's time to test fabric samples.
Now, the Hindenburg didn't have the same dope solution all over. The lower half had 3 coats of dope containing aluminum powder. The upper half had the Thermite mix, a base coat of butyrate and iron oxide, then 3 coats of butyrate and aluminum.
Here's what I'm wondering. If aluminum powder and iron oxide are so dangerous, why use those 2 components to coat the Hindenburg skin?
Well, they figured that was the best combination to reflect both heat and light from the delicate inner bladders that held the hydrogen.
Good enough for me.
Jamie prepares panels using cotton and aluminum frames that match the material used on the Hindenburg. On one panel, the fabric's left raw. The second is painted to match the bottom of the Hindenburg, and the third has the same dope mix as the top half.
This is basically just to find out if the dope has any influence on the speed of burn. So we'll start out with a raw piece of fabric, see how fast that burns, and then compare that to the other concentrations we have.
Adam sets fire to the untreated cotton. It doesn't so much burn as smolder.
We don't need high speed on this, we need a time lapse.
Anything you say, Adam.
5 minutes and 25 seconds.
That's not very fast.
That took almost 10 times longer than the Hindenburg took to burn. The entire Hindenburg.
Okay, we've got our control. Time for the first dope test.
Bottom of the Hindenburg, plain dope with 3 coats of aluminum. Yeah? You ready?
I'm ready.
Go. It's not a cajon. The Hindenburg was 800 feet long and the whole thing burned in less than a minute.
Remember, there's no chance of a thermite reaction here because there's no iron oxide in the dope.
What was the time on that one?
2 minutes, 26 seconds.
The bottom sample burned twice as fast as the raw fabric, which makes it pretty clear that there is a factor in the coating that has to do with how fast this thing burns.
Next, the dope that was on the Hindenburg's upper half. This is the potential thermite mix. Will there be a reaction?
All right, you guys, get ready for this one. Crocodile myth.
Is it that they live in the sewers?
No.
Is it that crocodiles have tears?
No. This one is, if you're getting chased by a crocodile, you can easily escape it by running in a zigzag pattern, because they cannot turn corners.
In the water, the crocodile is a lightning-quick ambush predator. In that explosive split second when they strike, crocodile lunges have been clocked at around 30 miles an hour. Lunging is one thing, running is another. According to the myth, if you're being chased by a crocodile, all you have to do is run in a zigzag, because their long bodies and short legs cannot make sharp turns.
All right, you guys, this one seems a little dangerous. How do you think we should test it?
Let's use Buster first. We'll build a rig that pulls him in a straight line, and then one that pulls him in a zigzag.
Well, let's try to make this a little interesting instead of just sticking a stake to Buster's butt. Maybe we can make a pair of meat legs.
How do you make meat legs?
Don't ask me.
Guess that'll be your job. We'll build the rig.
The plan is to dangle a dummy from a remote-controlled trolley, which moves from side to side. The trolley, in turn, will be suspended from a steel track. As the trolley is pulled along the track, those juicy meat legs will zigzag. Then they'll take the rig to a croc farm and see if they can make some reptiles run. But this time, believe it or not, Buster's off the hook.
The rig that we're gonna have to put up is going to be suspended. Therefore, my Buster needs to be really, really lightweight. I'm gonna make him entirely out of foam for a torso, and then I might have a little surprise for his legs.
Soon, a new foam Buster is rising like a cake in an oven.
As you can see, he's very light, and it's not gonna put a whole lot of strain on the rig.
This new lightweight Buster hasn't got a leg to stand on, but Carrie has a pair of meat legs all mapped out.
What are these?
They're fishnet stockings.
He'll be wearing fishnet stockings.
Give me all your cash!
And they'll be stuffed with quail. But these are not like any frozen bird you might find in your supermarket.
See,
Oh my God!
I can't can't do this.
They got feathers on them still.
I can't do this.
You know what? They're not even gutted.
It's a quail sickle.
Put it down. Put it down. No, seriously.
I never
You are
juggled dead quails
You are
before.
so messed up. Put these down, go back to working whatever you're working on because I have a really busy day of putting dead birds in sexy lingerie.
Now, there's a sentence you don't hear every day. And here's another. Carrie has to choose the lingerie least likely to come apart while being chewed.
You've got nylon, you got spandex, you got cotton, and I need to test and see which one of these are going to be the best for the crocodiles to be able to hold on to.
With the different stocking stuffed, Carrie takes a scalpel and makes like a crocodile tooth.
I think I'm going with the 100% cotton fishnet stockings.
Adam and Jamie are trying to get a handle on the Hindenburg blaze. Wow! Was the airship's metallic paint to blame? The paint on this panel matches the one on the doomed airship. It contains aluminum and iron oxide, two compounds that combine to create explosive thermite. Will they get a reaction? Adam puts flame to the frame.
Go.
No thermite reaction, no intense heat. In fact, it takes 5.5 minutes for the panel to be consumed. That's almost twice as long as the aluminum-coated cotton.
It's almost identical to the cloth by itself.
Wow.
Hang on, guys, don't write off this myth yet. That was one little panel. The Hindenburg was covered in thousands of square feet of material. Could there be a better boom on a bigger scale?
I mean, maybe there's some crazy amount that could yield an energetic reaction, but it's not this amount.
Obviously, the Hindenburg's designers didn't set out to coat their creation in rocket fuel. Those who pan the paint theory say the aluminum and iron oxide couldn't have formed thermite because the compounds weren't mixed that way. The recipe was completely different. So that's got the MythBusters curious. What would happen if you did paint pure thermite on the skin?
It's more like a paste than a paint, but I think we can smear it on.
Next up. Whoa. Mega dope. This is just total worst case scenario. Can you actually make thermite in a dope formulation?
Be careful when you light it.
Adam ignites the panel.
Time it.
Not exactly the pyrotechnic display we might have expected. They start discussing Plan B when suddenly...
Deuteronomy. Okay, wait.
Well, that's thermite.
You got that right.
Wow!
Once the mega dope ignited, the panel was consumed in just 20 seconds.
That was dramatically different.
That was totally amazing. Well, I tell you, that's the first evidence I've seen yet that there might actually be something to this myth. Because that's the kind of burn I think of when I think about the Hindenburg going up.
This was not what was on the Hindenburg. We have to make that clear because this was just like over the top crazy. The concentration of thermite in there was, thermite to dope was maybe like 75% thermite. And they wouldn't have, in any stretch of the imagination, coated the Hindenburg with something like that.
So we burned the skin samples, but you know, the Hindenburg was filled with 200,000 cubic meters of hydrogen.
Well, let's burn some skin in the presence of hydrogen and see what it does.
The newsreel shows the Hindenburg engulfed by fire. Yet high school science tells us hydrogen burns with a near invisible flame. So what are we seeing in the disaster footage? Is it the skin burning and not the gas? Adam will burn some hydrogen to see what the flame looks like. He takes a cylinder of 100% pure hydrogen and makes an enormous Bunsen burner.
That's an orange burn, baby. The hydrogen definitely burns orange, but it is extremely low visibility, in contrast to the newsreel footage in which the flame is clearly visible. Now, eyewitnesses said it burned orange, but it's a lot more visible than this was.
One thing's for sure, hydrogen burns like nobody's business. So it does sort of beg the question,
You know, I don't understand why, if it's so flammable, they filled the Hindenburg with hydrogen in the first place.
Well, the Hindenburg was originally intended to be filled with helium, but a United States military embargo against the Germans and selling them helium caused the Germans to re-engineer the Hindenburg to use hydrogen instead. And in any case, it gave more lift.
Okay, so what do we do now? The Hindenburg was filled with 200,000 cubic feet of hydrogen, which burns like this.
That's an orange burn, baby.
And its skin was covered in chemicals which, in the correct concentrations, burn like this.
Deuteronomy. Wow.
So what happens when gas and skin burn together? To find out, Adam builds a box and stretches some fabric over the top.
The dope-covered fabric that I've got covering this box for this test represents the top half of the Hindenburg. It is a layer of butyrate dope and iron oxide covered with 3 layers of butyrate dope and aluminum powder. Ladies and germs, here we go.
Hydrogen is pumped into the box, and Adam introduces a naked flame.
Whoa! Okay. Is everybody okay?
Fresh underwear for Mr. Savage, please. Because the volume of gas inside the box was only small, the reaction was quick and violent. To have skin and gas actually burn rather than go bang, the hydrogen will have to be diffused over a larger area.
We want a slow burn. We want to see the fabric burning with the hydrogen. We don't just want an explosion here.
Time for Adam and Jamie to start thinking outside the box and take their Hindenburg hijinks large scale. According to the myth, outrunning a crocodile is not straightforward. It's a zigzag. Carrie's foam and fishnet buster bait is ready. Meanwhile, Tori's got the croc rig on track.
So I have my 2-inch steel tube. This is going to be our track that's going to go over the crocodiles. And so now what I'm going to do is build the trolley, and the trolley will carry the dummy along that run, and the crocodile will have something to chase.
Getting the dummy to move in a straight line will be relatively simple. But making it zigzag, not so easy. Grant's working on the remote-controlled trolley.
The foam guy is actually going to be mounted on this, and this will be hanging actually upside down, so he'll move across like that. Motor here, the sprocket. As the sprocket turns, it moves the chain back and forth.
Next, the zigzag rig has to be calibrated for human speed.
So what we're going to do is lay out a grid on the floor of our shop, take a shot from overhead, and just run a bunch of zigzags and see what the best time is.
The grid is made up of 12-inch squares. It's 12 feet long and 9 feet wide.
No, the crocodile!
Question is, what constitutes a zigzag?
Well, I'm pretty sure that the essence of this myth comes from the fact that they have those long, rigid bodies. So it's not sort of like a weird hopping thing like they're snapping and you're just jumping, but it's more of a...
So you're going to try and hit the corners as fast as you can rather than like hopscotch jumping.
Yeah.
What the heck was that? What was that? Was a mouse chasing you?
It's really hard to do the turns.
One by one, the guys run a series of zigzags across the grid.
What I was trying to do is actually maximize the side-to-side. You know?
But it may have saved your life due to the fact that that crocodile right now is in a belly laugh. He can't even move. He's like cramping.
Then Grant studies the high-speed footage. By counting how many frames it takes to move across one square on the grid, he can time each run and come up with an average speed. And it is very average.
The average speed in the X direction, which is the long direction that you're going to be handling, is 7.6 feet per second.
That works out to be only 5 miles per hour. Some crocs have been clocked running at more than twice that speed. So will our cross-dressing dummy be fast enough to escape? Time to see what this croc rig can do.
That was some crazy quail swing in action.
He zigs, he zags. Unfortunately, he also sees and saws. Tori has a plan to straighten Buster up.
I just want to get rid of the seesaw effect that this dummy is having. So what I'm going to do is I'm welding up some bars on either sides. I'm going to put some cables on the ends of those and put the cables through pulleys that are attached to the trolley, and hopefully that will get rid of that seesaw effect.
With the guide wires in place, they try again.
New improved Buster test, take 1. Let's go.
That's great.
I'm happy with it.
So's Carrie.
So weird Buster rig is actually working really, really good.
Hey, nice meat legs, by the way.
Well, where are we gonna get some crocs? Because clearly there aren't any around here.
The only place we're going to be able to get crocodiles to chase us is going to be in Florida. So pack your bags.
Field trip.
It's time to croc and roll.
Florida, here we come.
Here we go.
Why did the Hindenburg burn? Former NASA scientist Dr. Addison Bain sparked controversy by claiming that it was the metal paint on the Hindenburg's hull that caught fire, not hydrogen. Wow! Adam and Jamie are on the case, but so far their Hindenburg investigations have been hindered by scale.
Well, the small scale just isn't doing it for answering all these questions that we've got. We have to go bigger scale, but we can't possibly go full scale. How big do you think we can go?
I don't know, like 10, 12 feet?
Well, if we go 16 feet, that's 1/50th scale. That's a nice round number. You think we can do that?
This should solve the mystery once and for all. They'll build 2 16-foot Hindenburg scale models and coat them with the aluminum iron oxide paint. One will be full of air, the other hydrogen. And if the hydrogen Hindenburg burns faster, then this blimp myth is busted. Okay, everyone happy? Not quite.
I think we need to do a third one as well. I mean, one that guarantees a thermite reaction.
All right, so 3 blimps it is. I think we can do it.
That third blimp burn will show what would happen if someone was crazy enough to paint their airship with pure thermite. To help with the build, Adam unearthed some blueprints of the real Hindenburg. To match the original airship, the replicas will need aluminum frames, so Jamie's off to get wired.
We've come to a wire stock place, and they have just about every kind of gauge of steel wire that we need. I'm going to buy some.
The wire will have to be thin to keep the models lightweight, yet strong enough to prevent buckling. The last thing they want is a limp blimp.
I've picked a wire gauge that is, I think, just thick enough for us to weld, and otherwise the frame, when we're done with it, may only weigh maybe 10 or 15 pounds.
Back at Hindenburg headquarters, Adam and myth-turned Jess Nelson are hard at work.
Behind me here, this fishbone is the guide backbone for all the concentric rings that make up the body of the Hindenburg, and then we will, once we have that laid out with all the rings on it, we will go in and weld all the long struts, and then we'll do it again. And when we're done with that, we'll do it again.
Sure, it's a big task, Adam, but spare a thought for the guys who built the original. Work on the Hindenburg started in 1931 and took 5 years to complete. The result was a mind-boggling feat of engineering. The Hindenburg was longer than 3 737s, 15 stories high, and could store 7 million cubic feet of lifting gas. The Hindenburg's designers also included a smoking room, fireproofed, of course. By following the original Hindenburg blueprints, the MythBusters soon have their own mini Hindenburg taking shape.
Look at that. That is very, very cool.
It weighs maybe about 10 pounds, if that. I'm gonna get pissed if you drop that thing.
Adam balances the frame on his chin. Don't ask me why, he's just Adam. It goes over like a Led Zeppelin with Jamie. Ain't a whole lot of love in the room. Okay, enough with the horseplay. We need another 2 Hindenburgs pronto.
You want 3 Zeppelins in a day? We'll give you 3 Zeppelins in a day.
The frames need cotton skins. Adam soon has that all sewn up. Everything's going smoothly until Jamie opts for a spot of last-minute welding.
Oh.
And suddenly, the model is looking disturbingly like the real Hindenburg.
These things are always catching on fire. That is the textbook definition of irony, kids.
The last thing they have to do is apply the dope, and the models are complete. Now, the MythBusters are ready to crack this case once and for all.
Next up on Discovery, the world's deadliest piñata.
Can you escape a crocodile by running in a zigzag? To find out, Carrie, Tori, and Grant have harnessed all their know-how and built a zigzag rig. Now they're off on a reptile recce.
We are now here in Florida at St. Augustine Alligator Farm, and they're crazy enough to let us try our buster rig on some of these alligators and crocodiles. What does it mean when they hiss?
When they hiss, they feel a little threatened because you're getting a little bit too close to them, so they're kind of unhappy with your presence right now.
They're unhappy.
Whoa!
Sorry.
You make the prettiest noises.
St. Augustine is the only farm in the world to have all 23 species of crocodilian. Director John Brugan has heard the zigzag myth many times.
The crocodile's going in a straight line, you're kind of going in a zigzag. I think you're going to meet a couple times in there. It doesn't sound so good to me, but it's worth trying.
They choose a good straight run and assemble the rig. Soon, Buster 2's got his fetching, quail-filled fishnets on. Now, it's croc time.
These are very dangerous animals, so it's important that you're listening to the keepers. Listen to David and Kevin. They'll tell you where to be if something goes wrong. They're gonna be yelling at you. They don't mean any disrespect, but they're gonna tell you to get somewhere quickly.
Hope you were listening, Tori. You're going to help wrangle the first reptile.
I've been watching a lot of professional wrestling on television, so I've learned some wrestling moves, and I'm going to try them out on this crocodile.
The Cuban crocodile is one of the quickest and most aggressive crocodiles on the planet. A perfect candidate for the zigzag test. If they can catch one, that is.
We'll get the animal secured, hold the mouth shut, and then you'll actually tape the jaw shut so it's no longer able to bite us.
What?
You're going to tape the mouth shut.
That's what he thought you said.
Give Kevin that mouth bowl.
Wow.
Okay.
He's going to submit in 2 seconds. Tap out. Tap out, sucker.
So is that better than playing with robots?
Oh my gosh. This is my new favorite job. How do I sign up?
I think you just did.
Okay, here we go. Can the Cuban croc catch those zigzagging quail legs? Tori's poised to pull the dummy along the track. Using the remote control, Grant twitches Buster's delicious legs. Our reptile doesn't seem tempted, although its potential speed is obvious when it suddenly rounds on its keepers.
Whoa.
They keep trying to tease the croc into a chase, but the beast just won't budge.
Senor.
So they wheel out a second Cuban.
Okay, so this is the new one, the fresh crocodile.
Here we go. Jiggling. Tasty. Come on. Take a bite.
But no cigar. The reptiles just won't run.
A big part of the problem may very well be that it knows it's not a person.
How can it tell?
Yeah.
Conditions are perfect. Crocs are the most active at this time of the year. And the humid, steamy weather means they shouldn't be sluggish.
No interest whatsoever.
I'm starting to feel extremely defeated. There's a run in my stockings and there's no crocodile running.
You know what they say about children and animals in the film industry.
You said it, Tori. Animal myths are notoriously difficult to bust. Remember skunk cleaning? Adam and Jamie set out to test a bunch of skunk smell home remedies. Only problem was, they couldn't get a skunk to kick up a stink.
Well, it doesn't work. Can we go now?
Back in Crocodile Alley, the test subjects are refusing to chase Buster's meat legs in a zigzag or any other configuration. Luckily, the MythBusters have a plan B.
We're actually going to take a quail and put it on my robot here, and this is a battle-ready combat robot. So if, unfortunately, an animal gets a hold of it in its jaws, it is built for combat, so it probably will stand up.
With its cargo of quail in place, Grant's robot sets out on its mission. Looking like the Mars rover, it parks near the edge of a pool, well within striking distance. Grant's poised to hit the accelerator at the first crocodilian quiver. But apparently, this croc doesn't feel like Meals on Wheels.
We're having a hard time getting this crocodile to come to the surface of the water, so I'm going to try to entice it with some quail, and I'm just going to drop it right in front of his nose, or her nose.
Tori ventures close and throws the bird. Nothing, not a ripple.
I don't think he's coming out the water.
Well, the trainers here say that they're naturally secretive animals, and what's more, they're not stupid.
Yeah, he seems pretty spooked by your robot.
No response to the rig, no response to the robot. You can't say the MythBusters aren't trying.
You know, those crocodiles seem like they're slow on land, but shooting out of the water, they're lightning.
Well, actually, I've done a little bit more research, and it turns out in almost every crocodile or alligator attack, since they've been keeping records, the victim has been in or near the water.
Well, then what are the rules to avoid being chomped?
First, if there are any warning signs, don't go in the water. Second, if you fall into the water, get out as quickly as possible. And third, never ever dangle your legs or arms over the side of the boat.
I think we can handle these rules.
There's only one thing left. Plan C. That's C for crazy. Tori's gonna put his behind on the line and get a croc to chase him instead. Tori, Carrie, and Grant have been wrestling with the myth that crocodiles can't run in a zigzag. So far, they haven't been able to coax a croc into running at all. You know what they say about desperate times and desperate measures.
We've tried everything to get these crocodiles to chase the food, but apparently nothing's working. So we're going to try a different approach. We're going to try to see if we can get them to chase us out of aggression. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually suit up with some protective gear, get in there, try to agitate the crocodiles, and see if they'll chase me.
Tori's going out on a limb. Let's just hope all his are still there when it's over.
So let's say one of them does get a hold of my leg. What will you do to break that hold?
I will do everything I can to ease your pain as quickly as possible.
He has a stick.
And this is actually more for
knock me
you.
out with the
Yes,
stick.
exactly. The quicker you lose consciousness, the better off it is for you. Yes.
Tori's legs will be well protected. Unfortunately, the heavy padding will also slow him down.
Wait, the safety protection caused me to fall down. Protective gear is hindering me from running away from the crocodile.
Nevertheless, he's ready for a face-to-face croc confrontation. The Johnston's crocodile is found in Australian waters. It's smaller than the Cuban croc, but fast and fiercely territorial.
So this is the first test, chasing Tori with the Johnston's crocodile.
What do you think's going to happen?
I think you can catch him.
Can Tori snatch victory from the jaws of defeat? Was that an unfortunate turn of phrase? Once again, provoking a croc attack proves to be a lot harder than you'd think. But if he succeeds, Tori will have to remember to run in a zigzag. Suddenly, The crocodile lunges, but doesn't continue the chase beyond that initial strike. The experiment ends with Tori intact.
When it came out of the water and it was just standing there looking at me, hissing and like lunging, my heart was going, 1,000 miles a minute. I was just like freaking out.
And he's starting to draw some conclusions about this myth.
I don't think you're gonna have to worry about it. I think you're more worried about getting away from that initial explosive attack. If you can get away from that, you're pretty much gonna be okay.
Actually, Tori, you're spot on. In the wild, crocodiles don't chase prey on land. They're ambush predators, attacking from the water. Escape that initial lunge, and you're pretty much home free. That's crocodiles. But what about alligators? Grant wants to try one more experiment, swapping the crocs for their cousins.
Okay, David, so up to this point, we've been using crocodiles. They haven't been going for the food. But we hear you have some trained alligators.
We have 3 good candidates in here today. We have Fluffy, Skipper, and Bob. And with any luck, one of those will come at you at full speed.
Fluffy, Skipper, Bob. Gee, with names like that, it must be hard not to smile at a crocodile.
You should lay the food about maybe a foot in front of his head.
Oh, okay, that close.
Yes.
Okay.
That close.
Using his most commanding voice, Grant calls the animal.
Skipper! Skipper!
I said commanding voice.
Skipper! Skipper!
Skipper follows the bait, but he's not setting any land speed records. So then Carrie plays Gator Baiter, trying to lure her living dinosaur in a zigzag.
Oh, yes, you're just freaking me out now, Smiley. Yay! This way! All right.
You're the most popular girl in the lagoon.
I don't know if she's more afraid of the alligator or the bird.
The alligator slowly changes direction to follow Carrie. But is that a zigzag as defined by the myth?
I did a zig, I did a zag. He could follow me, but only sort of in a curvy motion, not really sharp turns, and it didn't make me get away from him any better or any faster.
Let's face it, this myth is looking more and more, if you'll pardon the expression, like a croc.
Man, we threw everything at this one, including ourselves. I don't know what more we could have done.
Yeah, I'm really frustrated. We didn't even get to try our croc zigzag rig. We were in the right place at the right time of year on a hot day with cranky crocodiles and their food of choice, and they still wouldn't chase.
I mean, we even strapped quails to your robot, and we couldn't get those crocodiles to chase it.
Well, doesn't that in itself prove something? Forget the zigzag. Crocodiles are just not gonna chase you on land.
Yeah, they're ambush predators. If they miss you that first time, they're just gonna wait until some easier prey comes along.
And so this whole zigzag theory is just ridiculous. I mean, you're never gonna use it because they're never gonna chase you.
It's ridiculous, and what's more, it's busted.
Busted.
Totally busted.
For almost 70 years, it's been assumed that hydrogen was the cause of the Hindenburg disaster. But the incendiary paint theory, developed by a retired NASA scientist, lays the blame for the blaze on the metal paint that covered the airship's skin. Adam and Jamie have built some blimps
Ta-da!
and are set to give that theory a serious thermal workout. They're off to their home away from home, the abandoned naval base.
Last time we were here, we fired an air cylinder through a wall. Shearing the regulator off the tank. Attempt number 2.
Oh, God.
That wasn't bad, but now we're gonna blow up some Zeppelins.
As Tarantino might say, bring out the blimp. At 16 feet long, the Zeppelin is 1/50th scale. It's not been designed to get airborne, so it'll have to hang suspended.
We've got these figures from a train set. These are 1/50th scale. Check these guys out. That's how big an actual person would have been with the Hindenburg. This thing is massive. This fire must have been just the most unbelievable thing that anyone that day had ever seen.
The myth says that the destruction of the Hindenburg was because of the skin and not because of the hydrogen.
The blimp skin matches the Hindenburg's exactly, right down to the dope formula painted on its surface.
The first test is just the blimp without any gas, no hydrogen, and we're just going to burn the skin and see what that does.
The room will be a strict no-go zone during the test. Adam and Jamie will watch a live feed of the action outside. To set fire to the blimp remotely, Jamie rigs a blowtorch on a stand.
This is a test number 1. Period, correct skin, no gas. Ignite when you're ready.
Time to put a blowtorch to the belly of this 70-year-old myth.
That looks good. You're right on target. It's going. That was quick.
A thermal imaging camera will show the path of the fire as it rages through the blimp. The Hindenburg burned in 34 seconds. For the myth to be plausible, this Hindenburg has to be consumed in a similar time.
I'm seeing little thermite sparkers. Like little... But yeah, we're already at 1 minute, 10 seconds.
So we could have burned 2 Hindenburgs by now, and we're only like not even a quarter of the way through this.
Suddenly, the fire accelerates.
Oh, wow! Wow!
Oh, yeah.
That is so beautiful!
Sparks cascade as the aluminum and iron oxide on the skin create thermite. The thermal camera shows a massive orange as the fire spreads through the blimp.
Bang. 2 minutes, 6 seconds.
A lot quicker than I thought it was going to go.
But still slow. The real Hindenburg could have burned almost 4 times over in the time it took for the model to burn. There's the unmistakable smell of charred myth in the air. But Adam still sees a spark of hope.
Critics of the skin theory say that there couldn't have possibly been a thermite reaction on the face of the Hindenburg because not only are the proportions of aluminum to iron oxide wrong, but they're suspended in separate layers of butyrate. The fact that we saw a thermite reaction in this test tells me that while that doesn't prove the myth is true, it tells me the critics aren't entirely right.
On to Hindenburg burn number 2. This Zeppelin will be filled with hydrogen. Now, just pumping the blimp full of gas and lighting it won't work. Instead of a burn, they'll get a bang, just like Adam did back at the shop.
Is everybody okay?
So the gas will have to be diffused.
We're going to feed it from the hydrogen tanks through this blue gas hose up the main strut and into a trough of water. And the trough of water is going to diffuse the hydrogen across the entire Hindenburg.
This is where the rubber meets the road, people. If this hydrogen Hindenburg burns faster than the first blimp, the paint theory enthusiasts will be deflated.
It is make or break for this myth on this test. Let's go.
Jamie sets fire to the blimp.
Call it. You're lit.
As the flames take hold, Jess starts feeding hydrogen into the Hindenburg. The gas ignites.
Whoa!
More hydrogen! More!
And the blimp is instantly filled with flame.
Wow. Look at that.
What's our time?
Boom. Wow. 59 seconds flat. That just feels exactly like what we see in the newsreel. God, it's great.
Compare Adam and Jamie's result with the newsreel footage. They're remarkably similar.
This is my favorite scale experiment we've ever done. Full stop.
The burn times tell the story.
The period skin plus the hydrogen burned twice as fast as the period skin without the hydrogen. It doesn't get much more definitive than that kind of result.
The metal compounds on the skin undoubtedly played a role in the Hindenburg tragedy. But to say the hydrogen had no effect, well, that's a lot of hot air.
If I was the narrator of a different kind of show rather than the host of this one, I might say something like this. Like any catastrophe of this magnitude, a number of elements contributed to the totality of the failure on that fateful day in 1937. Now that's writing.
No, Adam. That's gibberish.
Okay, well, at the outset of this, we said for this myth to be true, both burn times with and without hydrogen had to be the same, and they weren't. With hydrogen, this thing burned up twice as fast. It's busted.
Yeah, but you know, the skin actually did have a fair amount to do with this. We saw that it does burn aggressively, and it was clearly a part of what was going on here. We even saw little bitty thermite reactions, which tells us that, like any good myth, there is a grain of truth to the fact that the skin had something to do with thermite.
But in the end, it was the hydrogen plus the skin.
Yep.
We're calling this one busted.
Busted.
But hang on, what about that third blimp? The skin of this Hindenburg has been coated with pure thermite, aluminum and iron oxide blended in a secret, searing formula. It's the same over-the-top, completely unrealistic mega-dope mix Jamie tested back at the start.
Deuteronomy!
With the myth already busted, this test is simply MythBuster theatrics. What you're about to see is what would have happened if the original Hindenburg, filled with hydrogen, was painted with rocket fuel.
There's 15 pounds of thermite on this blimp right now. It's a different sort of beast.
This thing is going to burn.
Thermite's like heavy-duty stuff, and there's an awful lot of it here, so all bets are off.
Test number 3. Thermite megadope plus hydrogen.
It's a safety red alert.
You're lit. Whoa! Dude.
Unsurprisingly, the flammable thermite fires up in no time. And after a dash of hydrogen, we're cooking with gas.
Wow!
Heinemann's Hindenburg is history.
We gotta call that. Boom!
30 seconds flat.
That is exactly the kind of burn that the proponents of the skin theory believe happened. Except that the skin of the Hindenburg was not coated in hundreds of pounds of thermite.
Yeah, that thing wouldn't have gotten off the ground with that much thermite per square foot. There's no way.
Our work here is definitively done.
I love the smell of thermite in the afternoon.
Ho, ho, ho. On this episode of MythBusters,
I caught these monkeys just this morning.
'tis the season to bust holiday myths.
It's alive!
As Jamie and Adam overflow with goodwill. Attempting to make a merry Coke and Mentos Rube Goldberg machine.
Arise, my son.
And Cary, Grant, and Tori break it down to find out how to keep your tree evergreen.
I like to style the tree, give it a little bit more fullness right around, here.
Cook a festive roast on a radar.
That is so funny looking.
Should we all be wearing our lead aprons?
And find out if falling frozen turkeys can be terminal.
That is messed up!
Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage.
Ow, 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 ow.
And Jamie Heinemann.
Almost too exciting.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience.
Cue dramatic music.
Joining them, Carrie Byron.
That's gonna be so cool!
Grant Imahara,
Listen to that baby purr.
and Tori Belleci.
Paramedics are nowhere to be found.
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho ho yourself.
It's Christmas. We have to do something about it.
It's not really my bag.
What are you going to be doing on Christmas morning?
I'll be in the shop like always.
See, if you're already going to be there, let's shoot a Christmas special.
Okay.
Excellent. Christmas myths, here we go.
Whether you think the Yuletide season is the most magical time of the year or a bunch of bah humbug, it's full of fables Jamie and Adam can't wait to unwrap for you.
What do you say we do something special for the fans?
That sounds like a great idea. What do you have in mind?
I'm thinking like a Rube Goldberg Christmas contraption.
I love the idea, but where's the myth?
We don't need a myth. We can just have some fun. It's Christmas. We can make this big machine that's got Mentos and soda going off. It's a Christmas theme, all sorts of mechanical stuff, explosions, you name it. We'll throw it in.
I love it. Let's do it.
Great. But what the heck is it? A Rube Goldberg machine is a series of elaborate mechanical things. Like a domino effect, each activates the next to a very simple conclusion, like peeling a banana. The EP Birds made a version recently using that gushy marvel of Diet Coke and Mentos. And their popular internet creation is about to get a whole new MythBusters makeover. The guys have made Rube Goldberg machines before for big budget commercials, and they've learned the most important element of all is a plan.
So the plan starts off like this. You've got a Mentos candy that's rolling down a ramp. It falls into a soda bottle. That erupts. It knocks a paddle wheel, which...
Let's move it along. We don't want to spoil the surprise.
The float comes up and turns the Christmas tree lights on. And that's how it's all going to work.
Phew. Now, to add to the holiday season rush, MythBusters deadlines are way tighter than Hollywood's.
The biggest constraint for this is time. We've got to make this thing basically a 100-foot-long device with about, 50 or 60 moving parts. And we've only got a couple of days to do it.
To power their invention, Adam and Jamie are using the volatile combination of Mentos and soda. In a recent myth, the guys blew the lid off this global phenomenon. They discovered the active ingredients in the Mentos and Diet Coke, combined with the effect of nucleation created from the pitted surface of the candy itself, cause a rapid release of carbon dioxide and a Krakatoa of cola. Jamie gets to work on the starter motor for the whole rig, an inverted metal and mesh cone that has soda bottles welded to the rim. This sweet baby doesn't run on gas.
What we do is take just any chunk of steel will do, like this nut, perch that on the inside of the neck of the bottle. We put our Mentos on it, and then when we yank the magnet away, we get that.
Time for a test run.
And 3, 2, 1.
Jamie, that's excellent. Sort of. I'll get them up.
Quickly, it's going for my steel rack.
For his next trick, Jamie attaches a float control valve to a bottle of soda.
There we go. I found that dropping the Mentos into the soda, if you release the pressure slowly, you can get just gas. And that's cool.
The gas inflates Jamie's plastic party favor very nicely.
Adam, come here.
That's great.
Some more holiday joy arrives, special delivery.
There you go. Oh, they're hideous.
Oh.
So, what's the symbolism here?
The monkeys are the last part of a sequence that is all kind of on one plane. When they applaud, they'll gradually work their way forward on a little kind of seesaw thing. They'll trip, and then that sets off the next series of gags.
Tip that scale, monkeys. Bye. Goodbye, my little friend. And you too.
The guys still have a long way to go. Time to quit monkeying about.
Come on down to Jamie's Monkey Warehouse. We got the monkeys all day long.
You know, Christmas just isn't complete without Christmas trees. But as the holidays go on, they start dropping their needles and they make a huge mess.
I've heard of all sorts of mythical recipes for keeping needles on your trees.
Well, let's get a bunch of trees and test all the methods we can find.
It's fun to choose your own Christmas tree. Jerry likes the spruce tree. Jane likes the tall pine with long needles.
Nothing evokes the feeling of the holidays like the smell of fresh pine on a real tree. But sometimes all the debris they drop makes you wish you'd gone with plastic. To put to the test mythical miracles touted to keep your tree fresh, Grant and Tori head off to go Christmas tree shopping, while Carrie stays back to make needle catchers.
Basically, it's gonna be a little platform with a ridge so the needles don't blow away, and a little hole where we can sweep all the needles into a little clear plastic container, and we can measure the volume of them by day or by week, depending on how long it takes for all the needles to fall.
She staples 6x6 pieces of thin plywood to wooden base frames.
Okay, 1 down, 9 to go.
As she continues building, the guys arrive at the Christmas tree farm. But as they drive through the gate, they run into a little problem. Tori and Grant are used to being stopped at the door, but that's usually when they're trying to get into a fancy restaurant. It's not exactly a great first impression.
Yeah, just go down to the tree farm and get us some trees.
Luckily, John, the owner, is an easygoing guy.
John, nice to meet you. I'm Tori.
Grant, nice to meet you.
Sorry about the sign.
No problem.
No problem.
Heard it.
John's preferred method of keeping his trees moist is plain and simple.
We put them in water.
Water?
Yeah. Anything you put in there is apt to impair this physiology of this tremendous suction developed by the capillary action. Water is the best you can use.
So what does he think about other people's crazy concoctions?
I think people will go for their thing that they like best. They empathize with this tree, of course, and they want to feed it something they like.
Grant and Tori pick out 10 Douglas firs, all the same size.
Okay, definitely not that one.
No.
When I was a kid, we couldn't afford ornaments.
Their trees selected and measured, they cut them down and load them into the truck. Before they leave, they have to do one more thing. Put John's sign back up.
A little more. Stop.
Not again.
Sorry. Did that sound good? That didn't sound good.
It's not exactly a great last impression either.
Really, I'm fixing it.
John, here's some gratis airtime to say sorry. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas as the team painstakingly pieces together a holiday-themed Rube Goldberg machine.
Jamie and I are building a kind of mechanical Christmas pageant machine. We're trying to make it something that's both filmable and interesting and involves all these different things. Mentos and cola, Christmas, mechanical stuff.
It's alive!
Let's go indoor bowling with Jamie.
Strike!
For this setup, Jamie builds a mini bowling lane, then suspends a bowling ball from a tightly wound cord.
Ready?
Wait, okay, now I'm ready.
Oh, knocked them down.
Next, he makes a device that will power his ball. He pours a splash of Diet Coke into a dish and inserts copper wire that's connected to a small motor. The cola acts as a conductor.
This little electric motor is right out of a microwave oven. I think probably one of the ones that we've used and destroyed on the show before. It's not getting much power, but it's enough to make it turn, and that's enough for us to pull a little pin out and make the bowling ball drop.
Adam's cooking up another trick. He welds an oven to a specially designed steel stand that will serve up an unforgettable holiday meal.
So it'll be perched like this. Hammer will hit it. All right, there's a couple of kinks.
Just a couple. But if they iron them all out, it's going to be a great show.
We've got liquids squirting all over the place. We've got chemical reactions. We've got, wheels spinning. We've got balls rolling. We've got things going off, cannons exploding, electrical arcs jumping.
Arise, my son.
And Buster in a pear tree.
Oh, it's awesome. It's like a ballet.
So, step right up, folks. The spectacle is about to begin. Back over at M7, the team is prepping their Christmas trees for the Great Needle Drop Fest.
So I've taken the advice of the expert. He said to cut an inch above our original cut. This is going to open up the cells and allow whatever we put into our trays to be absorbed into the tree.
The trees are inserted through the holes in Carrie's needle catchers and secured to their stands.
All righty.
Then Grant vacuums up any debris.
We just want to make sure that when we do officially start the experiment, that we start everything with a clean slate. All the needles we collect from then on will be the ones that we're judging our experiment.
One tree will be kept as the control and fed only water. 7 others will be treated with a different anti-needle dropping remedy, from the ordinary to the out there. First is a plant-friendly additive, fertilizer.
Nice.
Tori adds a ratio of 5% to a gallon of water and pours it into the stand.
All right, time to kill a Christmas tree.
Tree number 2 isn't so lucky. It gets to suck up a 5% mix of bleach. Bleach contains the toxin chlorine that kills bacteria, so maybe it'll keep it sparkling.
My prediction is this thing is going to be brown tomorrow.
Next is a libation that's a whole lot more refreshing. Lemon, lime, and soda.
I'm guessing that why you would use this versus, say, regular water would have to be either sugar, carbonation, or preservatives, because otherwise it is just water. Now, people seem to think sugar, maybe because it makes them hyper, will perk up the tree.
Then Carrie crushes up and dispenses a popular pain reliever that some people believe stops the headache of cleaning up fallen needles.
There we go.
Next is a little blue pill that's a mystery product. I'll let Carrie set it straight.
I'm trying to dance around how to say this because people might have their kids watching. Santa's little helper, Daddy's little helper, maybe Mama's little helper.
Santa's little helper contains nitric oxide. In humans, it increases blood flow, so it might help plants feel more vigorous, too.
It's got to take a little time to take effect.
I don't know, does it?
Another possible trick of holding things firm is to use hairspray.
So I am applying hairspray as a needle retention device. And what I think is going to happen is I spray this all over the tree, and it creates a little barrier that will keep the moisture in and keep the needles on.
You know, I like to style the tree. I give it a little bit more fullness right around, here. Put the hairspray. Very nice, very nice.
The final tree is the ultimate MythBusters special that takes the hairspray idea to a whole new stratosphere. The team suits up and breaks it down old school style.
Bring it in. Ain't it funky? Funky.
Like a happy hazmat team, they spray the tree all over with a clear coat of urethane.
The idea is that we're going to completely encase the tree in a thin, clear layer of urethane. and that's going to keep all the moisture in.
It's the ultimate extra super hold spray that also adds fabulous shine.
So what do you think, average American family, think they're going to be able to do this?
Oh, totally. I have a spray booth in my house.
Yeah.
The trees will be monitored over a 6-week period, and their needle-dropping results will be revealed at the end of the show.
Okay, Christmas is coming. It's time to think about getting the bird.
Well, unlike my bean curd substitute turkey, there's all sorts of stories and myths about the dangers of the frozen turkey. I've heard it's cracked floor tiles, like broken toes, and even caused the death of some pets.
Well, why don't we separate fact from fiction and see how lethal these frozen turkeys are?
Yeah, it'll be like a public service.
Exactly.
Every holiday season, we humans cause the turkey population to plummet. But is it possible for a falling frozen turkey to turn the tables on us? When dropping turkeys, what do you need? Well, first up, a steel turkey dropper rig to play the role of a frazzled homemaker. Grant is making its power mechanism.
I am rigging up the air system for the turkey drop rig, and these are rotary pneumatic air cylinders. When I hit this button, it's going to open up the arms just like that, dropping the turkey.
Meanwhile, Tori demonstrates his handyman skills.
So we need some hands to hold the turkey for the turkey drop mechanism. So what I'm doing right now, I'm gonna pour up some hands in some urethane, and I'm gonna put this tube, these steel tubes, into the hands, and they will slip into the arms of the rig.
He pours the instant urethane into pre-made molds, gives them a shake, and presto. Give him a hand, everyone.
Little fella.
Don't touch me with those.
Well, you don't know where these have been?
Tori attaches his arms to the rig.
Put it there.
Using a sandbag as a substitute bird, they're ready to test its turkey dropping technique.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, what the heck? Well, looks like we need to make some new hands.
Now, that's what I call a firm handshake.
Do we want to talk about why I just got hit in the head with a thumb?
No.
Nah.
While the guys make their modifications, Carrie is creating some feet.
Adam already has made a mold for our steel cap boot experiment in the past, and I'm going to use this because it makes a great skeleton foot.
The skeleton is made from a mix of urethane and fiberglass that dries to a realistic bone-like texture.
Oh, there's a good mold Adam made here. This one fits into here. This one.
Then they're encased in a foot-shaped mold of ballistics gelatin.
Nice.
Her feet are definitely suffering from fallen arches, but they'll do just fine.
Okay, just go stick these in the fridge till we use them.
Now, because we're all dog lovers here at MythBusters, to test the turkeys falling on small pets myth, Carrie is making fake pooches. She covers canine replica skeletons in ballistics medium. This is definitely not a breed recommended for families with small children.
This is not a normal family Christmas for me because dogs in my family are very cute and snuggly. They're neither drippy nor frightening.
To up the realism, professional still life model Gertrude is helping out.
I'm trying to figure out exactly how the hindquarters look on a dog. And Gertrude's modeling for me because she's almost the same dog.
Maybe not quite the same. She adds some bulging eyeballs.
Yeah, this really doesn't have anything to do with the myth, but it's a flesh-eating zombie dog. So it needs some flesh-eating zombie googly eyes.
I'm so wrong.
I started out making a dog. I love it.
Nice doggy. Grant, you might want to sleep with one eye open tonight.
Oh, you're such a good puppy. Mwah.
Carrie, you don't want to get too attached. Over at M5, it's going to be a gas. Jamie and Adam are finally ready to activate their Rube Goldberg machine, a 100-foot-long holiday miracle with 60 moving parts.
Just to make the point, I wouldn't even walk fast near a lot of this stuff, so nobody breathe on this one, all right? I can see you're really getting into the zen of this thing.
I'm thinking about it with everything I see these days.
Well, it's time to do it. We're all done.
It's the moment of truth. Let's go do it.
Okay.
It's the moment of truth, but how's it all going to work?
Pay close attention because here's exactly what's going to happen. At the top of this cone are 10 bottles of cola. At a prescribed moment, Jamie will yank on this string, releasing a Mento into each of those 10 bottles, which will then spray cola down into this funnel, down into this tube, up to this pair of wires, which will make an electrical contact, which will release this motor, sending this bowling ball spinning down. It'll stop, but the bowling ball will keep on spinning, release itself from the screw, fall down, hit all 10 Santa bowling pins, which will yank on the string, send the skiers down. The skiers going down will yank on this magnet, which will release this soda bottle, sending the party favor going going like this, boom, releasing this Mento all the way down into the basket, releasing this Mento all the way down into this basket. This ball will go down here, tunk, tunk, dunk, release the train, woo-woo, all the way around into the present. Boom, the present closes, releases a Mento into this bottle of soda, sending this robot, pushing the candle under the string. The candle will burn through the string will release the hammer. Hammer will hit the stove. The stove, which has roast in it, will release its roast onto this seesaw, onto the dinosaur platform, jiggling this thing, releasing the two little doodads here, which will send this seesaw going this way, releasing a ball into this robot, turning him on. This robot will find his way eventually to this hand, which will, boom, turn this switch on, sending the Jacob ladder like Frankenstein's monster. That will set off this fuse. Boom, setting the cannon off. The cannon will release the pirate's hat. The pirate's hat will turn on the monkeys. The monkeys will go down the ramp, releasing the nut from this nutcracker's mouth, which I just did. Releasing another Mento into this bottle of soda, sending this thing spinning, pulling a string out, which lets this foot kick the broken crutch here, sending Buster crashing into the ground. And that's what's going to happen.
Happen or not, you've just witnessed the longest piece to camera in MythBusters history.
This is Rube Goldberg, run one.
In 3, 2, 1.
Jamie pulls the wires. The soda bubbles up, but the machine comes to a stop. Something needs flushing.
Come on. There's something blocking it. That's the problem. The end was above the level.
They reposition the tube, mop up, and are ready to go again.
Goldberg, run two.
3, 2, 1.
This time, the soda passes through the pipe with ease.
There she blows. Uh-oh.
Triggering Jamie's spinning bowling ball mechanism.
Oh, it's very smooth.
That hits the set of pins, but the skiers are stuck on the slope.
Here we go again.
All right.
Well, that's the nature of it, of the beast.
Reset. With all this pent-up tension, Adam needs a release.
The main constraints we're working with is there's no cheating here. Each mechanical gag leads to the next one inexorably. So if something messes up, we have to reset everything and start from scratch again.
Let's leave them alone to figure out what went wrong this time.
This is all your rig, isn't it?
Yeah, you got something you want to say about it?
Just wait and see.
Can a falling frozen turkey do this kind of damage? To find out, the team are about to test the pummel power of frozen fowls with their mechanical homemaker.
Seem about right? Pulling the turkey out of the freezer?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. You've got to imagine like you're pulling a turkey out of the freezer, so the normal height is around 60 to 69 inches.
A force plate is put in the drop zone.
And that's going to tell us how much energy the dropping turkey is going to impart on your foot.
So, how many people is Mom catering for?
An 18 and 3/4 pound turkey. This would probably feed, I don't know, a family of 4, 2 if they're really hungry.
It's time to stop talking turkey and drop them.
No.
Yep, good.
In 3, 2, 1. Wow. Okay.
Right in the middle. Woo!
The bird dived like a boulder, but how hard did it hit?
So you can see here the initial hit is 1,901 newtons. And that is...
427.3 pounds.
Wow.
Dude, that could break your foot.
Let's find out, shall we? The plate is removed, and Carrie puts her foot down.
This is very, very dangerous.
This time, they position the turkey pointing down. It might do more damage.
3, 2, 1.
That was a perfect shot.
You can feel that.
Ouch! Call your podiatrist pronto. The pointed turkey pounded the foot with more than 770 pounds of bone-crunching force.
That broke the middle of the foot. That's horrible.
That threw the thickest bone right here.
That was pretty thick. That's a strong part.
That was a great shot.
The reduced surface area of the pointed turkey applies more concentrated force to the foot, and therefore ups the ouch factor. With a smackdown that strong, you definitely wouldn't be doing this for a while.
Now we're going to move on to the next step in our myth, which is small pets. And I've made this ballistics gel zombie dog to illustrate our point.
Zombie dog is underfoot of the cook, prime falling scraps position.
Does anybody else feel kind of bad about this? It's kind of cute.
It's not a real dog.
I know, but I'm getting attached.
3, 2, 1.
Did you hear that sound? Did you hear that crack?
Poor little fella. A giant frozen turkey was not the treat he was hoping for. The gang checks the high speed, and it's not pretty.
That is messed up.
He's still smiling. Didn't break his spirit.
Legs look like they broke, back caved. Okay, let's move on to the next one, because I think it's gonna be worse.
In the name of due diligence, they put another gel pet in the danger zone.
In 3, 2, 1.
Oh! This reminds me of my Christmas.
This drop is a real eye-opener.
Oh, the head snaps around.
His little eye.
Legs snap off, the eye comes out. I was sort of like half stoked, half creeped out.
I'm all creeped out.
Our zombie dogs need urgent medical attention, so the team takes them to a veterinarian to see exactly what kind of injuries they sustained.
I dropped a turkey on my pet dog.
And then we deep fried it.
I can tell.
You're just like a regular vet, and so you're probably not used to zombie dogs.
No, I'm not used to zombie dogs at all. But we'll see. We'll take a look. Mind if I hold him?
Yeah.
Oh, he's cute. There you are, little man.
The models are measured and x-rayed just like real dogs would be. Some of the other patients are not amused. Dr. Moran delivers his prognosis. I'm afraid it's not good news.
Aside from the multiple spinal fractures, which the dog has a poor chance of recovering from, the right rear limb is shattered, the left rear limb has multiple fractures, and there's going to be a lot of surgery, and even with that, he may not come through it.
I know this is a fake dog, but you're sort of depressing me right now.
Yeah, the prognosis for this dog is not great.
So, is a falling frozen turkey dangerous to your pet?
Plausible?
Oh, yeah.
Well, obviously, because these aren't real dogs, we're not going to be able to test this for real, so it would have to be plausible. It's a
Yeah.
little sad, isn't it?
It is a little sad.
Even though they're not real.
I'm gonna feel real bad about these guys.
Yeah, I could tell. you seem real broken up.
Broken up, that's a good word to use.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Back at the workshop, the team tends their Christmas tree garden. It's 2 weeks into the test, and each tree is being regularly treated with its chosen method and checked for needle droppage.
What I'm doing right now is I'm sweeping up the needles into Carrie's needle catchers. And this way we'll be able to accurately measure which tree is losing more needles. I have to control my breathing, because if I breathe too hard, I might knock off more needles.
Carrie and Grant inspect the trees for both needle retention and aesthetics.
Last week's pick was soda. Hairspray was my pick.
It's doing good. Santa's little helper's doing pretty good.
Color's not so good.
Okay, if you were gonna just judge on color, the control is the greenest.
Yeah, the one that we haven't added anything to is looking really good.
The reasons for the results may be the soda is adding sugar that gives the tree a boost, and the hairspray is helping keep moisture locked in by gluing the pores of the leaves shut. Surprisingly, the one that's performing the worst is fertilizer.
It looks like the tree equivalent of pattern baldness. Something gone horribly, horribly wrong.
And how about the MythBusters' ultimate urethane sprayed tree?
I would say the worst would definitely be our super painted MythBuster tree. That's turning a really weird red.
There are 4 more weeks to go in this Battle of the Pines, and with no frontrunner, it's still any tree's race.
Remember, short breaths.
For some holiday fun, Jamie and Adam are putting a merry MythBusters twist on the EP Birds Soda and Mentos latest internet spectacle.
There's something blocking it.
Now, if they could just get it to work.
Oh.
Goldberg run 3.
It's take 3, and this time Jamie's engine is off to a smooth start.
Motor's turning, and it's spinning. We're good. Oh, that's good. That's looking happy.
Strike.
Oh, yes. Come on, baby. Come on.
Will Jamie's party favor reach the peak?
Totally do it. You can totally do it. You're up for this. You trained for this.
Yay! A nice performance under pressure. The Mentos slides down the ramp. And Adam's trick shot is nothing but net. The ball boards the train, comes to the end of the line, and triggers their soda swinger.
Come on. Come on. There we go. Come on, baby. That's it.
Red Robot Man marches into position.
Go, robot.
Goes.
The turkey roll is perfection. But Yellow Robot Man shorts out.
Why is he stuck? He's never gotten stuck before in his life.
Adam is discovering this time of year can be very stressful.
Jamie and I have both done rigs like this for commercials before. And when we've done gags like this, I mean, we've had between 2 and 8 weeks to build all the gags, and then like between 3 and 4 days to shoot the whole thing. This rig, 37 gags, we had 1 week to build it and shoot it.
How about some holiday music to lift everyone's spirits?
Goldberg run 4.
Oh, this thing.
Goldberg run 5. Fingers crossed. Take 6. Goldberg run.
There it goes. Yep. Oh. Oh. Oh, no. The things that have never gone wrong are the things that are going wrong.
Goldberg run 7.
What the?
Someone's goodwill is fading fast.
All the ones that seem totally bulletproof are the ones that are now giving us trouble. In fact, everything that I thought we didn't have to worry about at all are the things that are going wrong with it.
Goldberg, take 8.
'tis the season to be jolly, but Adam's about to throw in the towel.
All right, you guys, all this talk about Christmas is making me hungry.
Funny you should say that, because we actually found a myth that involves cooking a turkey.
Apparently, there's enough radiation coming off of a radio antenna to cook a turkey just like in your microwave at home.
You have got to be kidding.
No, I'm serious.
What sad person cooks their Christmas dinner in the microwave?
Everyone's sad at the holidays.
Every happy homemaker has their preferred method to truss, stuff, and roast a holiday turkey. But for this recipe, you don't even need an oven. A microwave heats food by emitting electromagnetic radiation that travels through it in waves. The waves vibrate water molecules that raise the temperature. Radio and TV towers also send out this kind of energy, so maybe they can also bake a bird. To put the tower theory to the test, the team takes a scenic drive to the tallest broadcasting antenna in San Francisco, Sutro Tower. At 977 feet, it's going to be a long climb to bake their bird, but the view should be spectacular.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Tori.
Hi, Tori.
Turkey and industrial tape in hand, the team meets General Manager Gene Zastro.
So, Gene, what we want to find out is whether microwave energy can cook a turkey.
So what do you think of us jumping up there and taping a turkey to it, just to check?
I don't think that's possible.
No, permission is denied. And Gene can't be sweet-talked.
But what if I said pretty please with sugar on top?
No with sugar on top. No, 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 no. It really is too dangerous to go up there with the antennas active.
Hey guys, maybe the warning signs strung up all over the site should have been a clue. So does Gene think the TV tower cooking method would have even worked?
Microwave transmitters that the stations use are very low power. They're in the neighborhood of a couple of watts, as opposed to a microwave oven, which is, 700, 800, even up to 1,200 watts of power. Plus, it's very confined.
Looks like this myth may be plucked. So now what?
I think we might have to resort to another plan.
Okay.
Another plan? Now that's a plan. How about a broadcast news van?
You gonna let us try to cook a turkey on top of your van?
Yeah, sure, why not? That's how I warm up my coffee.
E&G vans use microwave signals to send images on location back to the studio. Video journalist Yoli shows Tori how the beam is sent out.
It gets bounced off of here.
So the beam is actually being shot
out
of here.
Out of here.
And then it sends it out. Okay.
Tori puts a bird fresh from the refrigerator on its mark.
All right.
And checks its temperature.
We're looking at 40 degrees Fahrenheit.
Then the dish is raised to the sky, and it's time to go live.
We're gonna let it roast for an hour, right?
1 hour.
Okay, just tell me when.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Turkey doesn't have much to say. He may not have the right personality for television.
This should work.
Yeah.
It's in the right frequency range, and it's about the right power.
Okay.
It's just the beam's so tiny, it may only be heating a small
So it's just
portion.
gonna cook a little section?
Yeah.
After an hour of airtime, it's time to see how much he heated up.
All right, 1 hour. It has gone up to 60 degrees.
His temperature rose 20 degrees, but that was only from standing in the hot sun.
Maybe we just need something bigger.
Yeah, that's possible.
So it's all aboard the SS Jeremiah O'Brien, a World War II cargo ship to unleash the big guns.
Boy.
Welcome aboard. I'm Pat Maloney.
Carrie.
How you doing? I'm Tori.
Tori.
Nice to meet you.
Steady.
Steady on that.
I don't have my sea legs yet.
Captain Maloney is letting our MythBuster landlubbers try to fry on the ship's radar. Radars are another device that emit electromagnetic radiation.
So have you ever heard the myth that you can cook your turkey on the radar of your ship?
I haven't heard about cooking turkeys. There's risk of sterilization.
Putting his fertility fears aside, Tori secures the bird to the antenna so it doesn't fly off.
That should hold.
Good, because I got vertigo watching you be up there.
Before they begin, they take the turkey's temperature.
Down to 50 degrees.
So what we've got is 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Now the FDA says that you need at least 180 degrees Fahrenheit for it to be safe to eat. So that's our target.
Let's go.
Clear the decks. It's time to beam up.
I need warp speed in 5 minutes or we're all dead. I can't do it!
I can't do it, Captain.
Captain Maloney fires up the radar.
Okay, we're transmitting.
And our turkey soars like an eagle.
Whoa, that's kind of faster than I thought.
Thing's spinning pretty fast.
That is so funny looking.
Should we all be wearing our lead aprons?
It looks bird-brained, but the waves passing through the turkey might be powerful enough to cook its goose.
I think that steel plate in my head's starting to warm up.
Our radar spit roast is attracting a lot of attention. I sure hope that's not the Coast Guard. And the sea air is making Tori feel like king of the world.
Remember that scene in Titanic? You know, like sitting on a ship looking out at sea.
With a turkey?
I don't think there was a turkey in that movie.
The turkey's been spinning for an hour. Plenty of time for our camera person to get all artistic and for our bird to get nice and toasty.
I'm ready for a hot turkey sandwich.
So how hot did it get on the inside?
Oh, this looking ripe.
Ripe as in cook or ripe as in?
Ripe as in nasty.
What do we got?
Are you kidding me?
What is it?
The temperature went down.
Only on MythBusters.
It's 45 degrees.
The turkey is colder than it was before it went up.
Maybe you hit a giblet.
There you go.
47 degrees.
The wind chill is actually making this turkey colder.
A radar and broadcast dish are bigger than a microwave, but they don't put out the right wavelengths to burn a bird. Also, there's no confined space to keep the energy in.
This one's definitely busted.
Yeah, I would expect it after an hour of exposure to the radar that we would get at least a little increase on the inside. We're not getting anything. I think it's busted.
It's actually working better as a refrigeration system than actually cooking the turkey.
Great, busted. Cut her down.
The myth's done, but not the turkey.
Nice catch.
For a little fun and to release some frustration, Tori has prepared a bird with his own recipe we cannot reveal.
This is MythBusters, and we haven't had an explosion. So I've mixed up a little special stuffing, and hopefully, with this turkey, we'll get some results.
Wouldn't be Christmas without an explosion.
He places it in the microwave. They seal it up to lock in all its goodness.
There you go. Ah, run.
And the whole team waits in hungry anticipation.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
In no time at all, the turkey is done. Finally, dinner is served, MythBusters style. How about a second helping?
Merry Christmas, you guys.
That is the most disgusting turkey I've ever seen.
Let's eat.
It's been a sweeping 6-week challenge to find the best mythical remedy to keep your Christmas tree looking lovely for longer. The fallout has been carefully collated and counted, and it's time to reveal the winner.
It's been 6 weeks since we started this needle drop experiment. I have to say, I think these results are really surprising.
Definitely.
I mean, it's obvious that the fertilizer is probably the worst remedy to keeping needles on a tree.
Yeah, I would have never have guessed that.
And it was only a 5% mixture to the water, but it lost 4 times as many needles as the control. I mean, there's a bucket filled with needles. We couldn't even get them all in our tube.
More interesting to me is the fact that every other treatment that we tried did better than just water alone in the control.
And you know what else is surprising is the bleach and the Santa's Little Helper, they lost the least amount of needles.
Yeah, but I think this myth should also be about aesthetics as well. And while the bleach kept a lot of needles on the tree, it turned it a really funny color.
Santa's Little Helper, same thing, retained the most amount of needles, but it looked really, really sickly in the end.
All right, well, we need to find a winner. So we're gonna have to find a balance between the needles that fall off and the way the tree looks like after the 6 weeks is up.
Okay, well, that winner is definitely hairspray. Kept a lot of needles on the tree, and at the end of the 6 weeks, it still looked really nice.
All right, so we're gonna be using hairspray from here on in.
Maybe you will. I think there might be a fire hazard involved with using hairspray on a dry Christmas tree. Just me.
And that's a problem?
Around you? Yeah.
All Jamie and Adam want for Christmas is for their soda and Mentos-powered Rube Goldberg machine to work all the way through, just once.
Why is he stuck? He's never gotten stuck before in his life.
Until now, there's been little joy. But this is the season for miracles.
Nice one.
There it goes. We're good. Oh, that's good. That's looking happy. There goes the skiers. There it goes. It's going. It's going. It's going. Come on, baby. Yes! Mentos going. Mentos going. Oh, it's very smooth. Come on. There it is. Come on, baby. That's it. Getting hot. There it goes. Yes. Yes. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Come on, robot. Find your home. Your home is there. That's it. Oh, yes. Get ready for the bang! The monkeys are going!
Going fast.
Come on! Yeah!
Here's hoping you like your gift and have a holly jolly holiday season. On this episode of MythBusters, it's a dog's life. The team is on the trail of 3 canine conundrums.
It's a dog-eat-convict world out there.
First up, it's Prison Break, MythBusters style, as Adam and Jamie sniff out whether you can beat the Bloodhound.
Man, that's incredible.
Then Carrie, Grant, and Tori test mythical techniques to sneak past a guard dog.
Oh my God, this is not working. This is not working. This is not working.
Mush. Finally, Adam and Jamie test the proverb that you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Sit.
Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage.
Is everybody ready for diving?
And Jamie Heineman.
Gets me all worked up just looking at it.
That was beautiful.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience.
That was heavy.
Joining them, Grant Imahara.
You feeling lucky, punk?
Tori Belleci.
Somebody order some exploding pants.
And Carrie Byron.
High explosives and electricity. Woo!
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test.
Have you heard the one about the Dyslexic Philosophers Convention?
No.
The topic of discussion is there a dog?
What are you going on about?
It's time. We're doing an all dogs MythBusters dog special. We have been inundated with myths from the fans and on the website, and now it's time to put them into a show.
Okay, it sounds like fun.
Yeah. Okay, here's what I see. It's another in a long line of adages, like, Rolling Stone gathers no moss and finding a needle in a haystack. We should test the myth that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You ready, old dog? Let's go.
Man's best friend. They're smart, they're talented, and crucially, they're quick to pick up new tricks. But the question is, are our canine companions' learning days behind them when they reach old age?
What's that you say? What's the plan? Excellent question. I think it's pretty straightforward. I think we bring in a couple of dogs and we see if we can teach them some tricks.
Well, they got to be old dogs, because after all, that's what this is about. Maybe we can each take one, we'll train them separately.
They should be also as close in age as possible. I mean, preferably they're from the same litter, couple of brothers, brother and sister, something like that.
And we can do some kind of, like, a dog show. What do you think?
A MythBusters dog show at the end? That's perfect. Let's do it.
And just as perfect are these beautiful old dogs, Bobo and Cece, an untrained 7-year-old brother and sister pair.
Bobo and Cece appear to be Alaskan Malamutes. Now, this breed is notoriously difficult to train. They're headstrong. So, if we can train these old dogs, this being the worst case scenario, we should be able to train any old dogs. Mush.
Adam and Jamie have just 1 week to get these homeless fur balls pulling in the right direction. So they're going to need some expert help. Adam and Cece have enlisted dog trainer Beverly Ulbrich.
So what we've got is somewhat of a contest between Jamie and I, and what I need your help with is to get Cece here to learn how to heel, sit, stay, down, and shake hands all in the next week. Can we do that?
I sure hope so. Let's give it a shot.
Bling bling here.
With her shiny new training collar, Cece is ready for lesson number 1, heeling.
So the idea with the walk is you want the dog paying attention to you, not everything else around you. If you think about like how a pack travels, there's one pack leader and the rest of the dogs are behind it just following naturally and easily. And obviously right now she's trying to be that pack leader.
Beverly's theory about dog training is to let them know you're the pack leader. So it's all about conditioning the dog both positively and negatively in ways that the pack leader would do. You give them affection when they do right, you give them a scruff on the neck, just like the pack leader would do when they do wrong. And as long as you repeatedly do that, and you do that exactly when they're doing stuff right and exactly when they're doing stuff wrong, they'll become much more manageable, because they all want to be part of a team.
That's the theory. And for old dog Cece, it seems to be working. Already, she's surprisingly well-heeled, which begs the question,
how old is old when it comes to dogs?
Well, how old is old when it comes to people? It's pretty subjective. However, the best estimates that the vet has is that Bobo and Cece were born about 7 years ago, which in human terms, for their size, makes them approximately 50 years old.
That'd be about in the butter zone for our test.
Indeed.
Outside and school starting for old dogs Jamie and Bobo. And head teach Gene Donaldson from the SPCA confirms we're starting from scratch.
Bobo, can you sit? He probably has never been taught. He's looking at him, mates will be saying it in Swahili, he has no clue.
Undaunted, Jamie and Gene get classes started. And at this dog school, the curriculum is slightly different.
Gene's technique is influenced by Pavlov, Skinner, even Darwin. We could talk about it in terms of operant conditioning and other things, but it boils down to that if the dog's behavior is good, you reward it. If it's bad, you ignore it.
So I've got leverage in my hand, and at the moment, he's not going to give me a full down, but I got to pay something. This is called shaping by successive approximation. So I'm waiting for that right front leg. As soon as he crosses it, I'm going to pay him. Waiting for the leg. There's the leg.
With Bobo getting down and Cece also responding well to the first day's lessons, doesn't that mean this myth is already busted?
I think the myth is looking pretty bad at this point. The real test will come, I think, with the handshake. I think all the other stuff, heel, sit, stay, those are your pack commands, just getting the dog to understand your words for what it naturally wants to do. But shaking hands, that doesn't happen in the wild. I think that's really going to be where the rubber meets the road and whether or not these dogs can learn a real trick.
Our next myth could get you ripped limb from limb.
Cool. What is it?
We're going to the dogs. It's time to test mythical ways to get past the guard dog.
Oh, cool. Like throwing them a big juicy steak.
We have a whole list of ideas for trying to get past guard dogs.
Man, this sounds dangerous.
All right, we're in.
When it comes to breaking and entering, the MythBusters are, unsurprisingly, experts. Their criminal record includes safe cracking, climbing air ducts, and beating laser beam alarms.
All right, let's get out of here before the cops come.
But today, they're filling the gap in their criminal CV by testing mythical methods to bypass a guard dog.
Okay, guys, what's the plan?
I think the first step is obvious. We need to get ourselves a dog, and I don't want to use just vicious pets. I want to go find a guard dog training school and get a real guard dog.
This is gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, as long as you don't get bitten.
Yeah.
The researchers have found just the place to get this myth off the ground. Whitmer Tyson Kennels, where police and guard dogs go to school. And in case you're wondering who let the dog out, Mike the handler did.
This is Iwan. He's a 5-year-old German Shepherd. And what we can do is we can give you a demonstration on how he stops people. One of our main trainers here is Jim. He's going to play the bad guy, and he's going to try and escape.
Wow.
Jim manages just a few paces before Ewan is on him in a flash of fur and teeth. And it's only that specially designed protective suit that prevents him from being the dog's dinner. So, who's going to be dessert?
Anybody want to try it?
Yeah, Tori volunteers.
Grant works on the principle that although there's no I in team, there is a me.
Dang! This is getting scary.
And Tori is once again in the firing line.
Whoa! Hey! Good boy! Good boy! Whoa! This dog's got some bite! Oh yeah, I can feel the pressure on my arm.
Oh. Yeah, you got the big suit on, it's gonna protect you, but man, you see that dog barreling down on you with his teeth exposed and it's growling, and then it takes a bite on you. It's pretty scary. And then there's a couple of points where he got his teeth around my arm and I could feel the pressure bite down on my arm. There was, it wasn't the teeth weren't piercing into my skin or anything, but you could definitely feel the pressure.
So that's Ewan the guard dog. Fast, focused, and furious. And the team now know what the myth is up against.
Oh, that pinched the skin!
Looks like we got ourselves a good guard dog. Ewan is vicious.
Yeah, that dog was biting with over 550 pounds of pressure.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that biting on my leg. So what kind of mythical techniques do we have to get past him?
We have distracting them with a big juicy steak. We have acting aggressive, acting submissive. We also have wolf urine. We have scent of a lactating bitch.
What?
It's supposed to calm them down. We also have urine from a bitch in heat, which is obviously supposed to distract them.
Well, he is a male dog.
Well, we can't forget the enclosure that we're supposed to build to do our experiments.
Well, let's keep that simple. We'll close off an area with the chain link fence. We'll put a safe in the middle, put treasure in it, and then we'll try our different techniques, see if we can get to the safe, get the treasure, and get out safely.
Carrie, Grant, and Tori are attempting to beat Ewan, the well-trained guard dog. They're going to test several techniques to sneak past the four-legged guardian, get into the safe in the center of the compound, and then escape safely with the loot.
So the first tactic I'm going to utilize is diversion. I've got some stakes. I'm going to chuck it in one side of the yard, and then I'm going to try to make a run for it.
I see, and that's supposed to draw the dog's attention away from you.
Always works in the cartoons.
Good luck with that.
Carrie gets into the dog-proof safety suit and then gives it a test run. With Carrie about as mobile as a dog's chew toy, she adapts her heist plan.
I'm not gonna be able to throw anything with this. I'm gonna get one of the boys to go over to the corner and throw it. That's not cheating. Everybody's got a partner in crime.
Tori gets the plan underway by interesting Ewan in his meaty treat.
Oh, look, he likes. Oh, you look at it. He like. Oh, you like you like the meat. I think you guys should probably go for it now, no?
Tori's tasty T-bone taunting has bought Carrie enough time to get to the safe. But then Carrie's accomplice turns nasty as Tori throws the steak into the compound.
Not at me! Not at me!
It's a poor throw, but Ewan stays focused on the meat and starts to chow down as Carrie heads for an unofficial exit on the far side of the compound. But it's locked.
Hurry, he's eating the meat.
Meanwhile, Ewan has finished the first course and goes back to Tori for more. But when Tori doesn't have another steak ready, Ewan goes to work.
Move. Oh. Okay. Get him.
Oh, that was great. It totally worked.
Well, kinda. The delicious diversion did distract Ewan long enough to get to the safe and secure the loot. But poor planning meant that Carrie ended up as the main course.
But the necklace is somewhere inside the suit. I swear it's in here. I grabbed it.
So it's plausible to distract a guard dog with tasty treats. But without that suit, Carrie would have been breakfast.
Well done.
Next up, Grant and Tori are tackling two myths which an animal behaviorist and fan of the show suggested. And they're both based on the concept that by using body language, you can persuade the dog to leave you alone. First into the ring is Grant, and the theory is Ewan will take Grant's submissive posture as proof he's not a threat.
Oh my God, this is not working. This is not working. This is not working.
I don't think it's working.
But it doesn't work. Next, Tori attempts to take alpha dog status by getting aggressive. But his top dog impression simply results in him being the dog's lunch. With the score MythBusters 1, Guard Dog 2, it's back to Adam and Jamie.
So how old is the phrase, "you can't teach an old dog new tricks"?
Well, it's pretty old. It originated from some guy named Fitzherbert who wrote a paper on animal husbandry in 1523.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right. The dogge must learn it when he is a whelpe, or else it will not be, for it is hard to make an olde dogge to stoop.
Like I said, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
It's an age-old adage, and the MythBusters can't resist putting it to the test. On day one, the training went so well, the myth looked busted.
Sit. Good girl.
But in today's session, without pack leaders Beverly and Jean to show them who's boss,
Cece, sit.
well, the dog's personalities are proving obstructive.
We're a little too excited this morning.
Bubba's a brat. First of all, I don't think he's as smart as CC. I can see it in his eyes. He's a little like... Yeah, you can cut that with a shot of him, you'll see it looks the same. Cece is a very shy dog. She is submissive, used to being submissive, and it's very easy for her to just shut down entirely.
Oh.
Clearly, Adam and Jamie need help from the professionals.
What I'm seeing here that might be happening is she might be a little more intimidated by you. A lot of times a dog, especially if she's a female dog, she may be more intimidated by males, either just by nature or because whatever men she's been with in her life have been a little rough on her,
Okay.
or firm with her, such that she's feeling that way.
But a session or two with confidence-inspiring Beverly and timid Cece is responding not only to the expert...
Gonna sit. Good baby.
Good girl.
She's listening to Adam.
Down.
There you go. Good down.
Girl.
Good down. Now she's really engaging. This is great.
Outside, Jean has Bobo the brat focused, and he's flying through all his lessons. And Jamie's not doing so bad either.
Nice job. I tell you, I've seen a million genius dogs go nowhere because of crappy training.
With 4 days of training complete, our elderly Alaskan Malamutes have come a long way.
Yes, I can give him it. That's
Good boy.
Good.
Good boy.
Good.
But the proof will come in the final exam when Adam and Cece go head-to-head with Jamie and Bobo in a show dog showdown.
Bobo, you gotta behave or we're gonna make you into a coat.
Adam and Jamie are competing in the MythBusters Best in Show Dog Trial. They've gone head-to-head to see whether it's really impossible to teach an old dog new tricks.
This is their final exam. We have set up a little dog show place here. We have a scorecard. We have 5 tricks that we've taught them. We're gonna see how well they did.
With Myth Turn Jess in position as judge and jury, everyone and every dog is ready.
All right, everybody, and welcome to the Old Dog New Trick final exam. Adam and Cece, you're up first. Let's start with the heel.
Good girl. With Cece in good position alongside Adam and not pulling on the lead, Judge Jess hands out full marks.
Nice work, Adam.
And that's the story of Cece's day.
Sit. Good girl.
She obediently follows all of Adam's commands.
Down. Good down. Good down. Back up. Okay, shake. Good shake. Very good.
Proving that in just 1 week,
stay.
She's learned all 5 of the new tricks.
Okay, Anita. Good girl. Very good girl.
The pressure's on. Jamie hates losing. He'll be determined to match Adam's faultless performance.
Down, down. Good shake. Good boy.
Bobo succeeds in all of the tasks to Judge Jess's satisfaction.
Bobo, stay. Stay.
Until the stay. Maybe Jamie's fur coat threat backfired.
Here, you stay there.
Bobo wouldn't hold for the required 20 seconds, but Judge Jess has generously given him a half point for his efforts.
9.5 out of 10 ain't bad at all. So, seems to me that you can, in fact, teach an old dog new tricks.
I agree. This one is totally busted. And one of the more cuddly myths we've ever done.
With old dogs busted, Adam and Jamie have sniffed out another mutt myth.
So, can you clearly communicate what clever canine conundrum you're currently concocting?
What?
What's the myth?
Bloodhounds.
What about them?
We're gonna test whether you can trick bloodhounds like they show in the movies.
You and I get to play fugitives?
Something like that.
Oh, cool!
Bloodhounds are the ultimate canine super sleuths. Used for police work all over the world, their capacity for sniffing out a human trail is legendary. And where there's legend, there's myth. Flick on a fugitive film and you'll likely see bloodhounds being baffled with ease. But is this really true?
So what's the plan with this one?
Well, we gotta get a trained bloodhound.
All right, and then I guess we just run them through the paces of things we'd seen them get tricked by in the movies. Backtracking, running in a river, changing your scent?
Yeah.
All right, well, which one of us should be the runner?
Well, something tells me that you'd be better at laying down a scent trail than I would.
Okay. I'm gonna say yes just because I want to do it. Let's get straight into this.
Straight into it? Sure.
Can you guess what my role is today? I am the chasee. And I'm gonna go over there and try every trick in the book to throw these dogs off my trail. We're gonna see what works and what doesn't.
Prison breaky Adam's all suited up to be the fugitive. And here's what he's facing.
This is Morgan. He's a 2.5-year-old bloodhound, and he currently works with the San Mateo County Sheriff's Office Canine Unit in San Mateo.
Morgan, handler Matt, and Jamie are going to need all their tracking experience because there's 6 myths that they're up against. Sourced from the movies and fan emails, each one will supposedly confuse and confound the trailing hound. Looking more like an extra in a George Clooney movie, it's nearly time to say, "Oh, Adam, where art thou?" But first, the plan.
Now the dog and his owner are just over there, so I'm gonna have to whisper the next test because they don't know what this is. This next test, I am gonna be zigzagging
I'm gonna be doubling back on my trail, and I'm gonna finish off with a lovely climbing of a tree.
Whoa, so let the games begin. Adam has 5 minutes to get as far away as he possibly can from Morgan, the human-seeking missile.
Okay, that was a zigzag.
Adam, looking like a recently escaped Benny Hill character, lays down as many zigs, zags, and doublebacks as he can before scampering up a tree.
Hello, team. This is Convict 1. I'm hidden.
Which means it's time to release the hound. And Matt's first move is to show Morgan what the search and rescue community know as the scent article.
Smell.
In actual fact, it's one of Adam's unwashed T-shirts. To get an understanding of exactly how Morgan can find Adam from sniffing his dirty laundry, let's go to a graphic. The scent a bloodhound detects are the millions of skin cells we're constantly shedding. These minute particles carry a person's unique scent signature. They rub off on anything we come into contact with, and we leave a trail of them wherever we go. Adam may as well have left signposts, because what's immediately striking is the pace at which Morgan works. Matt and Jamie, not to mention the unfit crew, are at full pace trying to keep up.
Where is he?
I'm sensing maybe Adam did a little doubling back.
Jamie's on the right track, but it's Morgan's nose that got him there. And pretty soon our police pooch is barking up the right tree.
So good boy, where'd he go? So good boy, where is he? Good boy.
So that's myth number 1 busted, and Adam is on his way back to prison, although he doesn't seem all that upset.
I just want to say, if this looks like fun, it's twice as much fun as it looks like. This is like, wow, who hasn't wanted to try this?
Put a puppy in a hat and get it to yodel, and it's no wonder that dogs are a man's best friend. But as Carrie, Tori, and Grant are finding out, that's not always the case. They're testing mythical ways to beat a vicious guard dog. Distraction by dinner proved successful, but changing their behavior was a dog's breakfast.
So the next thing we're going to move on to?
Scents.
Scents.
Makes
Makes sense.
Oh, so the team are going to test 3 theories from the fan site. With a spritz of the scent of a lactating dog mother, Ewan will be a puppy in Grant's hands. Carrie will douse herself in wolf urine to intimidate him. And a hint of scent of a hot lady dog, and our alpha male will be distracted enough for Tori to slip by unnoticed. First up is Grant with Ode to Dog Mother.
What's the theory behind this?
Well, the lactating mother smell, they secrete a pheromone that makes the puppies feel more at ease. It calms them down.
So this is supposed to calm the guard dog down?
Yeah.
Grant and his pheromones enter the compound, but Ewan is no one's puppy.
It's not working.
It's not working.
That's another one busted. What's next, Carrie?
Now, this is a myth that quite a few people believe, so I'm really interested to see if it's true, see if it works. Wolf urine. Now, urine is a big communicator in the canine world, as I'm sure you've seen dogs marking their territory everywhere. Imagine a wolf marks its territory where a smaller dog is.
Basically, with a splash of stinky wolf wee, fresh from the internet, where else do you get it? Carrie's trying to intimidate E1 by smelling like the big bad wolf. And at this point, you can feel lucky you're on the other side of the screen.
That's strong.
But will our guard dog be scared off?
Oh, wait.
Oh, it's working! Yeah! No way!
Instead of immediately taking a piece of Carrie, E1 hesitated. But in the end, he wasn't fooled by Carrie in the wolf's urine-soaked clothing.
If you would take a bath in wolf pee, you might survive being attacked by a guard dog.
But I would definitely say plausible because there was serious hesitation there.
Next, and the guys are going to try and distract E1 with Ode to Hot Lady Dog.
This is fresh from the kennel, bitch in heat urine.
Tasty. But what's the plan?
The theory is that that scent will attract him. He'll think that there's a female dog present, and he'll want to go get nasty. And then I will sneak by him while he's looking for that female.
Carrie wafts the tempting odor under the guard dog's nose.
Oh, yeah.
And suddenly, Ewan has his mind on another job.
Come on, big boy. Come over here. You smell that?
He's definitely interested. And Carrie ups the stakes with a urine-soaked rag and a little trail of scent along the fence line. Tori tippy-toes inside, and incredibly, the plan appears to be working. Ewan, oblivious to the intruder, is simply thinking hot lady dog thoughts.
Look at the drool coming off of that dog. Those chops are soaked.
I can't believe it. We just did bitch and heat, and it worked. The dog was totally distracted. He had his face down in the urine the whole time. Every once in a while, he would look up, check me out, see what I was doing, but then he would go back to the urine. I just slowly walked over to the safe, got the jewels, and slowly walked out. I mean, he didn't even act like he was gonna try to attack me. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah!
Yeah!
It worked!
Bitch and heat. Give it up. Nice.
While Tori shakes his booty after securing the booty, the final results for beating the guard dog are in. But this shaggy dog story ain't over yet. Many MythBusters moons ago, in the story of the salsa escape, Adam proved that he's a dab hand at literally breaking out of prison.
And I escaped!
But now the team is testing the myth that on the resulting manhunt,
Yeah, zigzagging didn't work at all.
the Bloodhounds can be foiled with a few fiendish tricks. Adam's next escape attempt uses a classic filmic fable. It's the old cross a river to trick a dog technique.
So, gentlemen, this is like a game of hide and seek to space the tree. Jimmy, let me know every minute you know that I'm gone, up to 5 minutes. Okay?
Okay.
I'm trying to not look at dogs, see where I'm going.
Okay. Look at the tree, bro.
And he's off. With a 5-minute head start, Adam attempts to lose his pursuers with multiple river crossings. And just like the movies, he makes his way up one stream for at least 100 feet before getting back to dry land. But did his tactic wash away the trail? At the first watery obstacle, the evidence is no.
Oh, great.
Because Morgan doesn't even pause. He's following and finding Adam like he has a homing device.
Ah, so good, boys! Ah, so good, boys!
No way! That's impossible! What a good boys you are! Dude! That didn't take, it took you less time than the first 2 tests.
You're just a stinky guy. What can I say?
I guess all the sweat from running equals, a bunch of fear pheromones or something. Man, that's incredible. It's a dog-eat-convict world out there.
At this point, the water doesn't look like a terribly good thing to try and use because from what we've learned about talking with these guys and what we just saw, water actually likes the scent. The scent is, kind of hydrophilic, apparently. It likes to collect in low areas, like where the water is. Water's no guarantee that the scent's going to go away.
Incredibly, that's true. As long as the water is slow-moving or still, it has the potential to retain the trail better than dry land. So the myth that water will foil a bloodhound doesn't hold any water. Quite simply, Morgan is just too nosy.
Let's pause for a minute and consider the amazing olfactory capabilities of the bloodhound. For comparison, a human's olfactory center is about the size of a postage stamp, whereas a bloodhound's is about the size of a handkerchief. This difference gives a bloodhound almost 1,000 times the smelling capabilities of a human.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Adam is once again on the run. Maybe he escaped before he had a chance to use the prison gym. Seeing as he won't be able to outrun Jamie and the Bloodhound gang, he once again uses film folklore. In Cool Hand Luke, hero Paul Newman conjures up a cloud of peppery spices that, when inhaled, supposedly blind the dog's noses. Could this be the method that messes up Morgan?
This time I used MythBusters brand ground pepper. I had a confidant of mine stash it in this barn where I knew it would be. And I sprinkled it all over the floor of the whole barn, and then I jumped out the window. And the theory, this is right from the movies, is that the dog smells pepper. Can't smell human smell anymore.
With his trail trap of nasal disaster set, Adam hunkers down in his hidey hole. And Morgan and his team of human handlers, ignoring the spectacular scenery, soon arrive at the barn.
Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Couldn't be in there.
Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Where'd he go?
But after a couple of circuits and no sneezing, Morgan finds the trail leading away from the shed and right to a very busted Adam.
You found me.
Despite the peppery problem, Morgan once again gets his man.
Well, I think we've proved that it doesn't work.
You know what, didn't hurt Morgan. So what's next?
I got another one up my sleeve, but I'm not going to tell you what it is.
I can't wait.
Carrie, Grant, and Tori have beaten the guard dog.
Bitchin' heat. Give it up. Nice.
And being bitten by the guard dog.
You know what? The most obvious one, using a stake, actually beat the guard dog. And the bitch and heat scent, that one worked as well.
And you know, I really feel that if you were covered head to toe in the wolf urine, we would have gotten a better result.
If you could stand it. But after watching all of these techniques, I think that we could ramp this one up MythBuster style.
We're gonna build our own technique to beat the guard dog?
Yeah, and I've already got some great ideas.
With the myths tested, the team has a challenge. Can they build something that would let them sneak past a whole pack of guard dogs?
Okay, it'll attach to itself, so once we get going, I think it'll be good.
Carrie, after 2 days of hard work, has built what can only be described as a human hamster ball. Meanwhile, Grant has gone high-tech. He's mounting his battle bot with a taxidermy tabby. To make it more lifelike, Dr. Franken-Grant is using a little robotic wizardry.
He's alive! Alive!
And Tori, well, he's scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Well, I'm done. And really, it speaks for itself.
Back at the enclosure, Grant is first up.
I think initially the dog will be somewhat confused by RoboCat, as most people are, but that primal instinct of chasing the cat or the furry shape that is in cat form will kick in, and that will, it won't be able to resist going after it, and that is the moment when I'll send Tori in, and he'll get the jewels. I feel it. Or the dog will bite his jewels, which will also be funny. Okay, go ahead and release the dog.
E1 is released, and that age-old cat and dog story begins. Cat runs away from dog, dog chases robotically controlled dead cat. It's a perfect cat burglar plan, until one little misstep by remote control kingpin Grant means accomplice Tori is brunch.
Run, run, run! Run, run, run. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to run with an 80-pound dog using you as a chew toy.
Dude. I don't think it's working, Grant. I don't know.
Wait.
Just a guess.
You
Dude,
had him. Oh, yeah. Good driving, kitty.
I don't think you know. This is not your fun time to play with your little cat. There's a dog on my arm.
So that's one zip to E1, the guard dog. Tori's next, and he's brought his armored tin can.
As you could tell, I watched a lot of A-Team growing up, and I think that's kind of where I came up with this guy.
It might be a barrel of laughs, and Tori, but for this test, he isn't wearing the safety suit, so there's a real element of danger.
Okay, here he comes.
Coming at you, but Doesn't know what to do.
It's all going according to plan, but there are a few scary moments.
How's it going in there?
But Tori manages to inch his way over to the safe safely and secure the loot.
I got it.
Yeah!
It's during Tori's slow crawl home that E1 works out by gripping the wheel, he can get more leverage.
Out! Here!
And Mike the handler calls it off before Tori gets injured by E1's 550-pound bite force.
I got it! No, you didn't. Man, you threw the towel in too soon. I was robbed. I could have been a contender.
While Tori tells us about the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, E1 the champ is warming up for round 3 with Carrie, the human hamster.
Dog is in.
I see the dog.
He doesn't even see you.
E1 looks confused.
He's checking you out, but apparently
he doesn't even see her.
You are invisible. Is that the ball of invisibility?
But it's not long before he works out a high-tech human hamster is trying to sneak across his yard, and he starts tearing into Carrie's ball.
Biting at the plastic.
Carrie had built the hamster ball with an easy access hatch, but it's just too dangerous for her to use it and expose her unprotected arm. So she has to cut a smaller hole instead, and sure enough, she gets the goods.
Got the necklace. Okay, I beat you, mutt. I'm getting out of here.
Back at the door, the deadly defect in Carrie's plan becomes evident.
The major flaw in my plan is that the dog will not stop tacking long enough for me to get out the door.
That is a problem.
It's not a problem for her willing teammates, who happily relieve her of the loot.
Pass us the jewels.
Can you get the door? Nice.
Okay.
All right,
bye.
good luck. You're on your
Thanks.
own. Nice work.
Nice. Sweet.
Tori and Grant happily make off with the loot. But with Carrie failing to escape, that's 3 to E1 and a big fat 0 to the MythBusters.
You know, guys, I think this could work if we worked in conjunction with each other.
Well, it looks like our techniques for beating the guard dog had a few design flaws.
Like trying to get out of the hamster ball?
You know, I thought my barrel was gonna work, but looked like the dog had figured out a way to tip it over.
And he wasn't fooled at all by RoboCat's lifelike appearance.
Yeah, I know I was.
Well, I think people totally underestimate these dogs. They're really well trained.
Yeah, Mike was saying that you can actually train these dogs to ignore things. So I bet if we did this test again, they wouldn't even look twice at that steak.
All I know is that I don't want to be anywhere near these dogs without the bite suit. They're vicious.
Well, taking that and all of our techniques into account, what do you guys want to call this one?
I think we have to call this one plausible.
Yeah, I agree, because we can distract the dogs, but you don't know how long they're gonna stay distracted. It's just too risky.
And crime doesn't pay.
Adam is 3 down against Morgan, the world's most sensitive sniffer. But that's no surprise, because his hooter has over 1,000 years of breeding behind it.
You found me.
Let's talk about the origin of the Bloodhound.
Okay. Well, we have citations referring to sleuth hounds hunting men as early as the 13th century.
Yeah, but back then, noblemen mainly used them for hunting deer or boar.
And it is commonly believed that the breed was refined and originated at the St. Hubert Monastery in Belgium in the 11th century.
Huh.
What's next is washing off and changing my clothes. We have a secret location about 2 minutes from here. We've got a wash basin and a whole new set of clothes for me. I'm gonna find it, wash myself off, change my clothes, take off in a different direction. We'll see if that fools the dog. I have no doubt he can find my wash basin. The question is, can he follow me from there?
As predicted, Morgan finds the wash location.
Oh, what a good boy. That's a good boy. Where'd he go?
But for the first time, our intrepid trackers are stumped. But it's not because Adam has washed his scent off, it's because there's too much of it.
I'm guessing he took a shower.
This just might be a lot of scent. I don't know if we're having trouble getting out of it or what.
Adam's odor is overwhelming because of all the water and the amount of time he spent there.
I know, where is he?
Matt realizes this and works Morgan over the area looking for the exit point. Meanwhile, Adam, with some time on his hands, relaxes. But Morgan remains focused. In fact, the Bloodhound is famous for being patient and stubborn, characteristics that have been selected for just this purpose.
Spoiled again.
Nice suit.
Thank you. Whoa! What the well-dressed escapee is wearing this year?
Morgan did really well on the test overall. It looked like we had a little bit of a problem at the shed, but actually, in reality, the thing I liked about it is Morgan never gave up. If you can see on the tape, he's always looking for the scent. He's always searching for it. And the two trails that went in and went out were actually, I think, from the way he worked, really close together. So he just kept working until he found the way out. Once he found the way out, he nailed it.
How many more tricks do you have up your sleeve?
I have exactly 2 left.
Well, good luck, buddy.
Thanks. Everybody knows from the movies that coffee is supposed to mask, like, shipped drugs. It's supposed to mask the smell from sniffing dogs. And it is a very strong scent. And so I guess the theory is that it will overpower the dog's olfactive abilities, and he can't start to pick up my scent. And the cologne, again, is also, something that we're hoping will overpower my odor and throw him off the trail.
Did you smell that?
Even I could smell that one.
Unlike the spicy pepper experiment, which was designed to blind the dog's sense of smell, this coffee and cologne test is all about masking Adam's odor and confusing poor old Morgan.
Good boy.
He smelled like a cheap date, but, at the end of it all, unless you're a cheap date trying to escape, this isn't going to help you out because Morgan found him right away.
I suppose the secret's out about what this test is about.
Yeah, this is just downright mean.
Oh, really?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
This is a hard one.
Yeah, for us, this is hard. Some people, not hard. For us, this is hard.
The urban environment theory is that it makes it harder for the dog to find me for 2 reasons. One is that the area is heavily trafficked by other people. The other is that it's harder for him to smell my scent on pavement.
Adam has laid down a 6-block urban maze of a trail. The ultimate test for a bloodhound.
Good boy. Smell. Get him.
Straight away, it's apparent that Morgan is a little distracted by all the interesting big city smells.
Leave it. Let's go. Where'd he go? Leave it. Let's go. Get to work.
Too much stuff going on here.
Matt, realizing Morgan has lost his focus and the trail,
leave it. Let's go. Get to work.
Brings him back to the start in an effort to pick up on the scent again.
Smell. Get him. Let's go.
The team have clearly followed a different route to Adam, but after 90 minutes of false leads, they finally find their furtive fugitive.
It's a good boy.
An incredible find, but as Adam points out, there was an element of luck involved.
Well, I'm amazed that you found me because I didn't go that way. I came that way. I came through a car park, and in fact, I even left a couple of scent pools for you. I got down on the ground and grinded around, gave you a little gimme, and then I came through an alley back there and came this way. I wouldn't chalk this up to sheer luck, but I wouldn't call it 100% find either. I'd say it's somewhere in between, and Morgan's still a young dog, still work in progress, still learning what he's doing, and this is, without a doubt, the most difficult environment for him to track someone in.
Morgan and I haven't yet concentrated on urban environments. It's possible that if you did it with a dog with more urban experience, you might get a different result.
It's true there are plenty of documented cases of bloodhounds successfully following a trail through heavily populated areas. But there's no doubting it's tough.
I don't know about you, but I've had enough running for like 3 myths. I'm gonna change back into civilian clothes and sleep for a couple of days.
All right, let's clear out.
As the team head home after a hard day hunting and being hunted, Jamie decides that the old film industry proverb, never work with animals, is totally busted.
This has been really a wonderful experience for us because, you know, working with an animal like this that is so amazing. I mean, Morgan was, it's like magic what this dog can do. It's also really impressive to see a man working with the dog. It strikes me as something that's more like an art. This isn't just like a machine that's picking up scents. This is a combination of the man and his relationship with the animal, taking advantage of what the animal can do, picking up those little tiny hints of what's going on and trying to pull it together into, a composition that ends up catching the bad guy. It's really something special.
Let's recap all the ways we tried to beat the Bloodhound. Backtracking, zigzagging, climbing a tree.
Busted.
River crossing.
Busted.
Washing off your smell and changing clothes.
Busted.
Covering your tracks with pepper.
Busted.
Masking your scent with cologne and coffee.
Busted.
And urban environment.
That would be plausible.
He did amazingly.
Yep, a good dog's hard to fool.
Correctamundo.